Honey. Oh. It's dime time.
Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and we've got a dime hunt to do today. One box only, that's all I could get this week. Good news is, it's one of my old tried and true, trusty, faithful boxes with the holes in it. I already saw through the bottom, there is circulated dimes, so that's a good thing. You see that bad one right there? That beat up one right there. So we know it's circulated. Figured I would go ahead and do a live opening with you guys and see if we have any enders. I have never scored a dime ender that's silver. I have found a Balboa dime ender once, and that was a lot of fun. Let's see what we got in here. We've got some more circulated dimes for sure. This one is really trashed. Obviously not silver. And this one's got a cool tone to it. Probably an 80s dime. Never know. We've had a pretty good run of dimes lately, getting at least one silver in almost every box over the last month or so. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hoping to find one or two more in this one, and maybe an older one like a Mercury. All right, now that we've said that, let's get this dime time hunt started. Roll number 10. It's not silver, but it's still a low mintage 2009 D dime. First find of the box. Let's find something else. Roll 45, guys, and other than that one 2009, we don't have any finds. I'm hunting roll 45, though. Look what we found here. We found a 1968 first year San Francisco proof dime. It's got the cameo finish. It's not the ultra cameo because there's no frosted designs. But it's not too often you find a 1968 first year San Francisco mint proof dime in your boxes. And I'm 99% sure I need it for my book. So that's a good find. 68S dime in the box. Well, that box of dimes did not produce any silver. And since it didn't, I thought I would take this time to let you guys know the different types of dimes, the errors and varieties, I should say, that I look for when I'm hunting dimes. Now, I'll start off by saying this is not all-inclusive. There's many other dimes that you can look for that are varieties while you're hunting them. I just like to cherry pick because dimes are so tough to see the date. They take a lot of patience. So if I look for every single error and variety, man, my eyes would go crazy. So I pulled out basically the 10 different ones that I look for the most and most consistently. That being said, I do know the other ones, and if I get a really good looking dime that's in AU or better shape, and it is the year and mint mark that I'm looking for an error, specific error and variety, I will take a closer look at that because it's worth it. Let's go ahead and kick it off with what I look for. First one I look for is the 1965 dime. I'll put it under the microscope so we can get a little better information on this for you guys. You're looking for doubling on the obverse, all the way through his forehead, his nose, down to his lips down here. You'll clearly see doubling. And I don't mean slight machine doubling or dye deterioration doubling like you kind of see here. It'd be very pronounced. So be checking your 65s. There's no mint mark on 65 through 67. So we don't know if it's Denver and we don't know if it's Philadelphia. But it doesn't matter. Check them anyway. Next up is a 1967. We're looking for the DDO on this one as well. You'll have really prevalent doubling on a few spots. You'll have it on In God We Trust, which there isn't on this one. You'll have it on the designer's initials, JS, as well as on the date, 1967. You'll be able to tell right away. It's pretty pronounced doubling, and be checking your 67s for the DDO. Next, we have a 68P. Same thing, it's a DDO. You'll be looking on the 68P for doubling on Liberty. You'll also be checking for doubling on the designer's initials, JS, as well as on 1968. So be checking your 68Ps for doubling as well. Again, on 67, you're checking for doubling on the obverse side on date, In God We Trust, and the designer's initials. And on 68P, you're checking for the date, the designer's initials, and Liberty. On 68D, you're looking for a repunched mint mark. Obviously, the mint mark is the letter D, and you're taking a look for it. It'll be pretty much to the west of it. I know you see some die deterioration doubling here, but you would see it pretty heavily to the left of it on 68D. So be sure you're checking your 68Ds for that repunched mint mark. Has some value. Next up is a 1970p. You're looking for doubling on the reverse of this coin, and you're looking for it on United States of America. You'll be checking for doubling. It'll be pretty heavily doubling all across United States of America, with the most doubling on America on this particular example. This one doesn't have it, but I wanted to bring that one up as well. Next up is a 1970D. Same thing. It's a reverse DDR. Exact same spots. You can see a little machine doubling on that D. Matter of fact, this one does have a little bit of machine doubling on a few spots, but it would be very heavily noticeable doubling. You can see the machine doubling on this one. If you check the markers, it's not what we're looking for. So be checking your 1970Ds for the DDR on United States of America. Next up is 74D. Now this one has a counterclash on the reverse. It's almost like the flame and the flowers is outlined like a stop sign around them. It has some hard edging. So you'll be looking for that. I'll kind of explain it to you here in a second. You'll see some really heavily, some lines coming around, almost outlining all the flames and the flowers on the back of this. Very easily to detect. You won't even need a microscope to look for it, but it's got a pretty hefty premium. There's not a lot of them found. I've been looking for them for a while. Haven't found them. Next up is the 1982p. And this one I've searched for forever. Have not found it yet. You'll see that there's a mint mark. In 1980, Philadelphia Mint started putting mint marks back on their coins. And you're looking for an 82 without the letter P. If you find a 1982 dime without a mint mark, you're in business, because it's going to be an 82p no mint mark. That carries a pretty nice premium in good shape. And there's a couple of examples. Sometimes there's a weak strike on the 2, and sometimes there's a really strong strike, like in this case on the 2. And the more valuable one is the strong strike. But either way, if you find an 82p without a P, or any 82 dime without a mint mark, you found the 82p no mint mark. Next up is an 82 Denver. This has a repunched mint mark actually in the motto. So you'll be checking "In God We Trust," and more specifically between the U and the S, there'll be an upside down D. I don't know how it got there, but for some reason they have found a few examples of that. And honestly, it's a pretty good heirloom variety to look for. If you find it, I've been looking for it, have yet to find it myself. But I only hunt about a dime box a week, so I don't get a lot of those. And then you're probably never going to find it, but it is always fun to look for. In 1996, West Point actually made some dimes. And so instead of a P, a D, or an S, you'll actually have a W. The chances of finding this in circulation is slim to none. They didn't make very many of them. So again, the chances are slim to none. But if you do, hold on to that sucker. There's not many of them in circulation, or many of them in existence. Yes, you can also check the 1969p and the 1970D for the proof reverse, and we'll talk about that another time. But I find a lot of those, and most of them are in bad condition, and they're just not very collectible or even sellable, if you will. So I don't look for those too often, unless the dime I said is in great shape. Then maybe I'll pull it out or check for it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this dime hunt with a little bit of information about what to look for. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting. And thanks for watching. I knew I needed that 68S. Put that right in there. One more dime in the album.